Can you hear the music,
Yep.
Robert?
Oh,
Yes, I can.
and the music is benign, of course. And yeah, and I will simply just start code. And we have gotten quite far in what we have been trying to do. And let's see, main.c. So, uh, what I'm struggling at right now, what I have done till now is that I can get code from the Google OAuth. I can redirect the user to Google OAuth's URL and then get a code from there. But then I have to send an HTTPS request to the Google server and exchange that code for a token, which I will be using to get live chat. That is it. All that is all that remains. So our next thing has to do with get token function. What does this function do? This function, get token function, here is the code, here is the header which I am sending to the get token function, and I am using this function called client, which sends a request to this to token endpoint. Here is the URL for that thing, and this client function is written by me, which is here, um, here, this client function. This takes in a request and a server domain and sends the request, sends a HTTPS request to this server, and this is the request which it sends. That is the message it sends, and then whatever is the response, it gets that response and sends it back to the caller of the function. So let's see how that is working and what the errors are. I have been redirected when I started the program. I can log in. Mhm. It is, it does that. Yep. See, I got the code, and this is just I'm trying to print the code at this point. Then client ID, client secret, redirect URL, which is mine, and grant type. Well, this part is the body of the request which I sent, and I due to some reason. And then this is the IPv6 address for the Google server to which this domain to which I am sending the request. But then I am getting a error. Got response from the server, Google server. It says bad request due to some reason, which is this is bad request due to some reason, which means that error unsupported grant type. Grant type is unsupported, but the grant type is authorization code, which should be supported, which is the one that is given in their documentation. Grant type is unsupported. Get open. Maybe because it is not being rendered or something properly. Let me replace its position with the redirect URL. Yep. Mhm. I guess that might work. Like if I still after this get grant type wrong, then there is some actual problem which I have to solve. Slash program, and yes, before running this, I have to start the older one. Let's see if that works. What? Well, mhm, mhm. That is taking time, and I suppose it's because I didn't close the last instance. Okay, that didn't work. So I can just start it again. Or slash program start. Yep, it worked this time, but starting. I got a connection, but malloc heap corruption detected. Free list is damaged at this incorrect guard value. Breaking point in malloc break to deep. With something memory leak happened. Heap corruption detected. Detected. Okay, so I'm messing up in heap at some point. Am I using malloc in this? No. Okay, so here I am. What are the functions that I'm using? Here I'm using get request. Okay, get request function is using readify, which does use malloc, and yep, join body array 10. hmm Like there are 10 things in this body array to be joined, and then body length is the length of the body. Sterling. Because I think it is not body length. Sterling. Sterling will it. What does it print? Yeah, it prints it. Fine, that's fine. That is fine. Okay, am I using free? Yep, I am using free on client secret and client ID, which do use malloc, and then I should also be using free on body, and then I'm using join here. So yep, I should use free on body here like that, and sure print body before freeing the body, then response after getting the response and using it. Yep, sending response. Where this is why am I calling it response like a stupid idiot? This should be request, and this should also be called request, and yep, request equals null. Yep, use the request here, and then if stuff goes well, then just free the request immediately after using it, and then if response is null, then return null. Otherwise, say not a response and print the response. Right? Let's say yeah, yep, um, two new lines and then return the response. Where else am I using malloc? It's in the client function. In the client function, I am using this. I am opening initializing a SSL connection, then I am creating a context, then a client ID, then I'm using the request, whatever is the request provided by the person running this program, by the caller of the function, and then adder info this will find out, will convert the domain name to IP address. Then I do connect a client, but I guess I should do this. I'm not connecting a client, I'm just creating a socket in this, and then I initialize IP string, an IP string of IP6 format, and then I'm using these commands. Memset sets whatever this address with this value or this much bytes, and then yep, family is this, socket type is string, then get adder and whatever is the information of the address, put this in server domain. Look, find the server domain, and the server domain has a string that is the domain of the server. Find the address, IP address of that domain, and put it into hints. And then I can just do server address equals structure. Yep, get the address from there, make it equal to IPv6, then port. Okay, that is cool, and then print the domain name and the IP address which I just got, and yep, do cool stuff. That should work, I suppose. Slash program. Let's see. Shit. I should have stopped that one before and now run. Continue. See. Let's see. And I would also like to find a way, yep, that did not work, but is there any improvement? No? Unsupported grant type. Okay, that is the problem. So what I know is that I'm sending uh, the request is proper. There is no, at least not the formatting error, but this grant type equals authorization code is not correct. That has to change. Okay. Well, oh, let's see. The authorization code has to change due to some reason. It has to be correct. Uh-huh. This thing, yep. The code equals this, and okay. What is the thing that I'm sending? I am putting a percentage 2 there instead of a slash. So I should replace that with a percentage, and the end has to end with this. Wait, yep, there are actually these ands at the end due to some reason. So is that the problem? Yep, there is and here, there is and here, there is and here, there is and here. Google responds to this. Uh, okay, Python, in Python, I say ask token Node.js. Yep. Let's say app.get require URL from here, receive the callback from Google's auth server. App.get was to slash callback async. Let q equals url.parse request url true dot query. Okay, this is receive a callback from Google's auth server. Yep, yep, that makes sense. And then this part is handling response when the user does give their consent, right? And that is it. Redirecting. Yep, this is handling when the user does give their consent, and if there is error, then print error. Else if p.state is not equal to request session state, check state value. Get access and refresh tokens if access type is offline. Let token equals await Google wait, o auth to client dot get token for q dot port. Hmm. Okay, this is client. Okay, get token. They have just given a direct function which gets a token. To exchange an authorization code for an access token, call the this API endpoint and set the following parameters: client ID, client secret, code, grant type. Okay, so the field's value must be set to authorization code, client ID, and or code. The authorization code returned from this. Okay, grant type has to be authorization code. Authorization code has. I guess the problem is that the request that I am sending, there is a percent sign instead of a slash here. And is there any other problem? Well, I'm not printing the header there. I can print the whole request then. And get token. Hmm. That is good. First line, the second line is also good. Then I'm adding content length and stuff. So what I should be doing is change inside the code, inside code, code which I get here. Okay, I should, I guess, change the get code function, which gets the code as parse code. Parse code is code is false. Hmm. Yep, I'm only doing this rs.length. Yep, I'm only doing this for the first line, and rs dot, okay, and is not in this, and rs dot request bracket I is not equal to 10, which means this new line. Do this, and if request equals equal, then is code true, else if is code, else if uh, uh, then alright. If currently I am there, yep, at a equal to mark, then do this. Otherwise, if I am at code, then copy the code and then return the code. But before returning the code, I know that the second character has to be replaced by a slash, so I can just do code bracket 1 equals slash. That handles changing this percent to something that I want, to a slash. But then I also have to change, I also have to add this due to some reason. Here also the same. I mean, I don't know if I have to add it, but let's see if that works. Which slash program, and let's see. Unsupported grant type. Okay, bad request. The code was different this time, and I had added and at the end. Grant type is not correct. AUTHORI authorization underscore code, which is correct. AUTHOrization code, authorization code, uh, slash code. That is my redirect URL. You can put in whatever I want. Grant type is authorization code. Yep, it is saying that it is invalid grant type. The response contains all of this, but where is the response? I'm getting a wrong response. Token type bearer, access token is this. I'm not getting the correct thing. Maybe I should remove those ands which I added. Get token. Wait, are there ands after them? Oh, no ands. Authorization code is wrong. I should remove these and check now if it works. Okay, no, it does not work. Application type JSON. Okay. It is a bad request. Accept range is encoding chunk 56. 56? Was there a random 56 there? There are 56 characters in this thing. Unsupported. Grant type. Invalid. Grant type. Invalid. Grant type. Invalid. Grant type. Google get token by code. Authorization. Yep. Yep. That is the same article that I was reading. Okay, so what is the thing that I am not seeing correctly? That I am being stupid. Hey, this is not the thing that I was reading. And this is the thing that I was reading. This part. Content. Content type is this. Okay, let's go to ChatGPT and ask some things. Uh, for O O or with Google, I have created. I have written code in C using OpenSSL. Wait, I don't have it. I have code for Google O auth. Now I want to exchange it and get a token for it. I am sending this body, which is this. Yep. Not. And the response I am getting a bad response. The fuck does that mean? You are sending the request to exchange the authorization code for an access token, but a 400 by request error usually means that you are sending something wrong with the request format, missing parameters or something. If the place that I'm correct enough, incorrect redirect URI, no, I don't think. HTTPS colon slash slash JATINRAGHAV dot DUCK dot org. That is correct. Incorrect. Client ID and secret. No. Client ID and secret are taken directly from their respective files, so they are reliable. Incorrect request format. Yep, that is the thing that I have sent. And then wrong token endpoint. The correct endpoint is this. HTTPS this token endpoint. Okay. Where am I? Was I printing the domain? This. Should I use slash token there? Let's see. Get in the get token function. The domain that I'm sending. Slash token. But I don't think that is the problem because I am sending the request properly. The error I am getting is invalid grant type. Invalid grant type as well issues. The code can only be used once and I am using it immediately. Grant a new authorization code by Going through the workflow again, ensure you haven't already used that code. Yep, I have not. Incorrect grant type value. Grant type value should exactly be this case sensitive. Yep, that is what I'm using. Double check. Yes, that is what I'm using. Incorrect redirect URL. The redirect URL must match exactly what was used during the authorization request, which is the thing that I'm using. Ensure it is the same as the one in Google Cloud Console. Yes, it is the same. If it is different, nope, it is the same. Incorrect client ID or secret, nope. I'm using correct client ID and secret. This is one of the headers, then code, client ID, client secret, grant type, and redirect URL. Make program, and let's see if it works now. What is the change that I made? I made a change in the request that I was sending. Let's see. Okay. Get error info, undefined error. Yes, because that is a dumb way to do things. Yeah. Um, get token is slash token is not part of the domain name. It is part of like the URL. It should go in the. It is a application layer thing, not a TCP layer thing. So now it will work, and I can close that window there. Slash program. Let's see. Wolverine. That is taking more time than it should, and the camera has been not working. That is crazy. Shit, actually crazy. Let me use my laptop's camera. I got a request, by the way. Yep, that is not a very good camera, but it works. It's functioning. Oh, yes. Yep. Unsupported grant type. Okay. Invalid grant type. Unsupported grant type. Invalid grant type. What is the grant type? And type is this GRANTTYPEAUTHORIZATION underscore code. Okay. Hmm. When using C to do this in the body, also do I have to end each line with backslash r and backslash n? Yes, when manually using this encoding format, not this, not this. The this carriage return and line feed is only required for HTTP headers and not for the body. In this case, I have to use and client ID and or clients here. That that seems like that seems to be the problem then. The way that I'm patching up the body. Right. Right. I should have known. I should have known if I had paid attention. The carriage character and the new line only comes in the header. Yeah. And right, right. That might wait. That might actually be putting it. I don't know. I guess it will break. It will break. I hope it will. And I never complete this series, and I never complete invalid grant type bad requestable invalid grant, bad request. That is a different error from the last one. Invalid grant. hmm Code equals this thing, and declined ID equals this thing, this whole thing, and declined secret equals this whole thing. Maybe because the grant type has to go before the other thing, just according to whatever is in the documentation. Maybe change this with this, replace message, make.sh, slash program. I actually want this to work now, which is crazy cool. Let's see. Yeah, it is communicating and stuff is happening. Let's see. It's only been 30 minutes. 3031. 30 is 31. Invalid grant and error description. Bad request. Can you give more meaning? What is bad request? Application type JSON. This is the body of the thing that I sent. Bad request. Bad request. Bad request. Okay, let me print the whole thing. The whole request that I'm sending. So I can analyze it. 13 token response. Response. This is response. Um, I don't think it is null terminated. Uh, I don't think it is null terminated. Whatever. Let's see. Percentage. Uh, request. Even though it is not null terminated. Let's see. Slash first message make.sh slash program. Is there anything running? No. Redirection and go there. Continue, and this is the whole thing. This host is this, content type is this, content length is this, and then this. With that, it is still this one. Authorization grant type equals authorization code. This is my request, which seems correct, but I am getting that request error. And let me diagnose it on my own. I'm sending a port post request to this and a route using HTTP. Host is Google auth apis.com and auth2.googleapis.com. Content type is application www format URL encoded. Content length is 287. Then code is this thing, and yeah, the whole thing is this client secret. I got redirect URL also there. Seems like correct. Ensure content length is correct. The content length must exactly match your code. Already manually count the characters or let your code compute Strudlin body dynamically. Yep. Ensure no extra spaces or new lines. The request body must be one continuous string, not split across multiple lines. Yes, it is the case. Make sure there are no spaces or new lines at the end of the body. No spaces, no spaces or new lines. Mhm. There are no spaces or new lines. Ensure grant type equals authorization code is set at the end. Google's API might be sensitive to parameter order, right? By placing grant type equals authorization code at the beginning instead of the code, right? Try reversing the order. Okay, verify your read which is correct. Redirect URL is correct. Ensure code is fresh. Yep, it is fresh and valid. Grant type equals authorization code and the code and client ID, redirect URL and everything. Debugging steps in C. Wearing 287. Is 287 the correct body length? Let's see. You get token. Where is the body? Body is joined the body array. This whole thing. Code equals something and client ID equals client ID and client secret equals client secret and then this thing. Suspicious string literal. My bad. My bad. Grant type equals authorization code. Authorization code. It said 287 is the length of the modeling, and yeah, it does print 287 correctly. So modeling is not wrong. Then what the heck am I doing? Response array contains the header, which is this part, this whole part, and then comes the length of the body, which is converted from length to ASCII, and then RN, and then the body itself. Then the body itself, which which is cool, right? And then the request comprises of these four strings. And then I'm sending the request back. Bad request. What is the thing that I wanted to check? Then point is correct. Yes. Let me try changing the order. Putting this grant type at the start instead. Start. Yep, like that. Like that. Use and there. Now the number of strings has changed. It is 11 now. Right? Yep. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 3, 3, 10, and 1 more, 11. We need .sh /. Program. Is there any earlier program running there? Now let's see if this works. Putting the authorization grant type at the top of the request. It got something invalid grant. Why am I getting invalid grant? GRANT type equals AUTHORIZATI authorization code. What does the auth server say? Shit. Okay. Code, then an and, then client ID, then your client secret, and maybe it has to be, it has to end in a new line. Hmm. The Google responds to this request by returning a JSON object that contains short-lived access token and a refresh token. Note that the refresh token is only returned if your application uh, refresh token is only returned if your application set the access type parameter to offline. Access type parameter to offline in the initial request to Google's authorization server. What is the initial request to the Google authorization server? This is the initial request to Google authorization server. Okay, access type access type recommended. I have to change this to offline. Okay, okay, okay. Get code access type. I can do this right now. Client ID is this and other stuff are just other stuff. And in here I can do access type equals offline. Maybe that might help. Access type equals offline. The slash program. Yep. No, the service is running. Trying to get to the my 443 port. Let's see. Invalid grant type. Fucking hell. Wait, invalid grant type. Is it because of the URL that the the client is that I am trying to shit? Yes, maybe it is the URL to which I am redirecting the user to get some stuff. Client ID is required. Scope is yeah. I guess it is the scope. 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 What is the scope? All the things that I want to get to. Scope enables your application to only request access to the resources that it needs, while also enabling users to control the amount of data accessed. Okay, incremental scope. How do I specifically say that this is what I want? Like scopes. What are the scopes? Type of scopes. What's to Google API scopes? Mhm. Cloud platform, API training, cloud platform. What is this? If your public application uses scope that permit access to certain user data, it must complete a verification process. If you see unverified app on the screen when testing your application, you must submit a verification request to remove it. Okay. This document lists the OAuth 2.0 scopes that you might need to request to access Google APIs depending on the level of access you need. Sensitive scopes require review by Google and have sensitive indicators and Google consoles. OAuth consent screen configuration pattern. Google OAuth playground. Yep, playground. Let's see. Inside the playground, I can say YouTube. Get access to YouTube data API. Let's say all of them. Yep. Authorize APIs. Let's see. Authorize. And go back a bit. Yep. Redirect URL is that, and I can change from response type is code, client ID, uh, and scope. That is what I want to copy. Scope is https www.google.com, YouTube, https, and quite a bit of stuff. And creator, and that is quite a bit of stuff. Access type is offline. Is that much is enough? Get 43 and redirect. Change it from scope. Okay. Scope equals https google apis.com 2f 2f YouTube. That might be make.sh.slash run the program. Is there any other service running? No. see if that works. That should give me a big consent screen. Uh-huh. Okay, access denied. If you are a developer, see this. Okay. Request details. Access type equals offline. Response type equals code. Redirect URL is this. And scope is this. So what is the problem? Related developer documentation. What is the problem? 403 access denied. It is up to the user whether they will give access or not, right? Access type is offline. Response type is code. Get token. Let's see. Not get token. Get code. Here redirect URI is this. Response type is code, and the whole thing, and then access type equals offline. If that should be it, this app has to be verified. Okay, I have to verify my app, personal use, projects used in development, test, and staging tiers in order to comply with Google OAuth. Listeners, we recommend that you have different projects for testing and production environments. We recommend that you only submit your app for verification if you want to make your app available to any user with a Google account. Therefore, if your app is in the development, testing or staging phase, verification isn't required. If your app in the development or testing phase, you can leave the publishing status in the default settings of testing. This setting means that your app is still in development and is only available to users you add to the list of the test users. You must manage the list of Google accounts that are involved in the development of a test app. That makes sense. Publishing status is testing. Well, those are the same things. Testing. Yeah. How do I add stuff to this? I cannot add here. Uh, Google Cloud Platform Console. Cloud Console. And dashboard. This is the dashboard. That is the dashboard. And okay, I don't understand a lot of things which are here. Recommendation, solution, APIs, and services. Yep. What consent screen is, I guess, where I have to go. OpenAI kicking in. Shit. Streaming chat traffic is nothing. Audience, client, access. Yep. Wait, there was something, but now there is nothing. Mhm. It is pretty simple. Filter test users. You test users will worry 0@com. That is not the correct spelling. .com. See, while publishing status is to test users are able to access allowed users cap prior to app verification is 100 and is counted over the entire lifetime of the app. I don't know. One test users, zero test users. One user cap. Testing and other users. Any Google account that has been authorized access to your app but is not explicitly listed as a test user is counted in other. This situation may occur if a non-test user grants access to your app when it is configured for an external use type with a publishing status of in production but has not yet completed verification. A user deletes their account. A test user was removed from the table, or a Google account has been removed, or abuse prevention. Yes, this much is fine. External make and terminal. Sign into Google. If I were to refresh, no, well, I'm refreshing the error screen. That would only result in error. Let's smash program. Let's see if that works. I am a test. Blah, blah. Access denied. Access denied has not completed the Google verification process. I am not going to. Has access. Related documentation I have added that I should please see the continue thingy in order to comply. Go to this, click create project, create, review the auth credentials for this, enable APIs in the user base, review your consent screen configuration for the new project in the branding page. In the branding page, I can change the consent screen, lifestyle display, app logo. Shit, I can provide an app logo, I can provide a domain name, a public policy for my app, authorization domains. Yep, this is it. Authorized domains, jitnargo.dns.org, and developer contact information here. Yep, that is fine. In the audience, I have added my other account. There is a test request, but it got blocked due to some reason. One test and 0 others. One user was there. While publishing status is set to testing, only test users are able to access the app. Allowed users cap prior to app verification is 100 and is counted over the lifetime of the app. I can publish the app, but no. This is error. Going back here, I should not be seeing any errors. Choose authorization. Okay, this is a new URL given to me by Google. Redirect URL is this. DNS response type is code, and scope is this big ass thing. And then at the end, I have access type set to offline. Not at the end, but around there. LWLVERINE570. And yep, there was one user which was test and not other, so which is cool. And is that the thing? It, test users, add test users. It, okay, I have added one, but I cannot see it. That is fine. Okay, no, I guess I have not added it. 570 at gmail.com. Save, save, save. That should do it, I suppose. Yes, now it is done. Now it's done. Now it is done. Now. Maybe it might work now. It actually might. Let's see. Wolverine570 at gmail.com, and app isn't verified, so this is different from the last one. You have been given access to an app that is currently being tested. You should only continue if you know the developer has invited you. Yep, I know. Continue. select all, give access to all the things here, and let's see. I got an access token, which is fucking amazing. Expires in this 20 seconds. I also have a refresh token and I have a score. Okay, that is working. I am getting a token. Get token. Get token. So now I get response here, and I need to parse this response. What was the response? Response was something. This thing is the response. Yeah, let me go here and get token. I have to parse the response and get the token, get the refresh token, and is there anything else? No, nothing else. Expires in and the scope. I don't want to do anything with them. I only want these two. These two. R's response. Char pointer. R's response. Not just a char pointer. An array of char pointers. And what will this take in? This will take in a char pointer called S. Function cannot return array type char pointer. It cannot return a char pointer. Char pointer array. What? I am returning a pointer to a char. That makes sense. Pointer to a char pointer, which has only two members. Now I have something like this. Okay, I am not capturing the whole response properly. Which is bad. Which is bad. Which is bad. I am not seeing anything here which says content length, which is not good. Which is not good. So I have to change the get a dynamic response function inside. HTTPS is complete. I send a request to Google and I get code. Alright, and when Google is trying to access me, then it is sending content link. But when I am as a client sending a request to Google, I do not get content link in return. Okay, so I have to write a different is complete SSL dynamic read different function for the client and for user. I can do that later. This is just a bit of optimization, but for now I can just write a parser for this thing. Access token. Hmm. 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 How do I do it? Access token. First, I have to just go go on traverse the whole thing till I see this thing, and when I see this thing, I can move forward till I see this thing. And when I see this thing, I can suppose that starting from first, second, third character till I see this double quote, that is going to be my access token. And then I'll figure out a way to get the refresh token also. Okay, for in I equals 0, I s I is not equal to, let's say, null 0 and I plus plus. Let's say int in body equals false, and false is something which I can define. define false to be 1, and here if it is false, if if si equals opening curly braces, then in body equal, I also have to define true there, define true to be 1 and false to be 0. My bad. Well, I can change it, it wouldn't matter because it is relative. Equality, no, not an equality operation. Else if si equals to semicolon, not this, replace this with single quotes, not and, replace this with two these. So this is equal to and this, and is in body equals true. Then I know I have reached this place. Then I can do I plus 1 will point to this, I plus 2 will point here, I plus 3 will point there. Right. I plus equals 3, that I point to a new space, and let's say point token equals null to begin with, and then char point token equals address of si. Shit. Token is address of si, and then I have to, while si is not equal to this, comes in a bracket like that, and yep, while si is not equal to this, just keep increasing I plus plus, and then at the end si equals to 0, making this thing a null terminated string. Okay, yep, I got the access token. Let's rename this to access token. Access token, and also this thing, access token. Right, I have the access token now. What else do I need? I need the refresh token. How would I know that I have reached something that represents the refresh token? I am currently here. I can go on with the order. I can also use a library which parses HTML, which parses JSON. Yep, I am already using a library which parses JSON, so I don't have to create my own parser. See JSON library. Dave Gamble. Shit, that is gambling name. If the screen is not stuck, that is fine, and video is not amazing. I can start the interstellar theme. I will. Right. And I am ending the stream here. I will be coding on my own, and this is going to be the end of the stream. I know that I will be coding on my own, and this is it. Yep. I will show you guys what I have done. Now I will show you tomorrow what I have done, what I will do in the rest of the day on this project.